Hey everybody, I'm just getting to the practice room here this morning. I haven't practiced for a couple of days. Life's been getting pretty busy. So anyway, I just wanted to go over some things I do when I warm up. This isn't my entire routine or anything like that, but it's kind of some things I do, and maybe you can take some things here or there, just see how I warm up generally. It's different for everybody. So one of the first things I do is breathe, which I kind of already did on the walk here. Just take some deep breaths in and out, taking my time. I do a little bit with resistance. I think it was Terrell Stafford was telling me that there's also muscles when you breathe in, not only when you breathe out, which makes perfect sense. So I'll add a little resistance breathing in, maybe just 1 or 2 breaths, let that max, and then some when I breathe out. So I already did that. I'll do one of each just to show you. So that's breathing out. Probably want to try not to move the shoulders too much and do the 3 chamber breathing, bottom, middle, upper, and then some with resistance. I'm going to cup my hand and put it against my mouth. Not too much, because the more I press it against my mouth, the more resistance there is. Just a little bit. If I'm playing more, I'll put more resistance, but it's been a couple of days. So that, after breathing, I do mouthpiece buzzing just for a few seconds, just to kind of get the lips vibrating a little bit and get the sound in my ear a little bit and start being musical about it. Actually, before mouthpiece buzzing, I do a little free buzzing just to kind of get the muscles going. It's kind of like doing squats for sprints. Squats don't help you directly, but they do help you indirectly, and the quad strength and all that stuff that comes in handy for sprints. You use a lot of muscles. Same thing with brass playing. There's a lot of muscles you use. So just for a few seconds. This is like an example of something I would do. If I'm playing more, I might do one more of those, or some kind of arpeggio or scale or a little tune, Then I do a little mouthpiece buzzing. And that's it. Not very much, just enough to kind of get the vibration going and get the sound in your ear and get those muscles kind of working in your lungs too. It doesn't quite simulate playing, but it gets close enough without actually playing. And these days it always changes up, but I basically just try to get started, warmed up, either like by doing attacks and getting the lips connected, the aperture especially, or some kind of like, not static long tone. I call it like like a moving long tone. There's always movement. So I try not to hold it these days. I'll stay on one note, because that's a certain kind of muscle, a static muscle. So I try to either like go up and contract the muscles more, or go down and relax them more. So I try to start in the middle of my range. Something like that. Then I'll do like an arpeggio exercise, all gliss for now. And then I'll do some attacks. Trying to work on accuracy and, again, getting the lips started. start doing flexibility exercise to get warmed up. Very simple at first. I try to alternate them every day because if I do the same exhaustive like flexibility exercise, then I get tired the next day. Like those muscles don't recover. You want to like use every muscle you have in your face ideally, so everything develops, not just like a particular muscle. Unless that's what you want, but that's just what I try to do. And as I'm doing these, sometimes every partial I'll do some kind of slightly different variation on the flexibility just to get everything warmed up. Probably going too fast. And yes, those last few positions were in the trigger range. If you don't have a trigger, just go out to 7th. And then I like to get articulated kind of going. I do usually single tongue first these days. Get that going, maybe my ka or ga for my double tongue. And then combine the triple tongue, double tongue, doodle tongue. I basically do 3 for doodle. I do a doodle, double doodle, triple, and I do one where it kind of works your doodle tongue in a different way. I go da doodle 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 doodle, which kind of helps everything. It's a tricky skill to do. So you want to, when you're playing, you don't want to have to think about what you're doing. You don't want any gaps in your technique. So I'll start off with single tongue. And usually I'll do some kind of little exercise. And as you're doing this, you want to try to combine as many different things as you can. I'm also doing slide technique. Not so much intonation right now. Playing softer to let the embouchure and the aperture build up a little bit. Basically, the more limited you are on time, the more efficient you want to get. Also, the more developed you get, the more efficient you want to be with your practice routine and not just do one thing. It's because there's so many things you have to work on. So, okay, that was single. Then maybe I'll do a ku 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 or ga 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 going down the other side of the double tongue in a different key. Some gaps in there today. A delay to the sound. Okay, doodle. We'll go up to G. Then let's go up to A flat and do triple. Doodle, triple doodle. Trying to make that clear. It wasn't as clear today. Then that other exercise I was telling you about, doodle 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 doo. Do it now. my double or triple tongue have I? Just not the non-doodle. Okay. I'll do that. Just triple, do a double. And I usually like jump back and forth between flexibility, tonguing, little like lines. I do little exercises, whatever. And once I finish that off, basically I get to playing whatever, if I'm learning tunes, if I'm working on improvising. Yeah. So, alright, hope this helps you guys. See you soon.